Hi, my name is Kim Cullen, and I'm a personal injury attorney in Winter Park, Florida. And today I'm going to talk about why it's so important for you to know about all available insurance before you settle your personal injury case. So in a classic personal injury case, you're involved in an accident, you go get treatment, you're ready to resolve your case, you call up the adjuster, the two of you haggle it out, you determine a number that you both think is fair to resolve the case. The adjuster sends you a release, you sign the release, she sends you a check, and the case is over. And usually that's the end of the discussion, and that's fine, and everyone ends up being treated fairly, or at least the perception is everyone's been treated fairly, and the case is over with. Sometimes over handling these cases over the last 27 years, we've run into situations where the insurance adjuster doesn't always fully disclose to our client all of the potential available insurance that would apply to a particular accident, and so our client ends up settling their case for less than their case is worth or less than they could have, and therefore, sometimes the clients end up having to pay back more bills than they should and end up putting less in their pocket. So here are a couple things to think about before you settle a case with an adjuster, some things that you might want to ask the adjuster about in order to be confident in yourself that you know about all the available insurance. So the first thing that you would probably want to find out from the adjuster is, was the person who hit you in the course and scope of their employment? Were they on an errand or doing some sort of mission for their work? Because even if they're in their own personal vehicle, if they're doing something that's connected to their job, then their employer's liability coverage may apply, and typically employer policies are going to be much larger than an individual automobile liability policy. So you just want to make sure that the person wasn't doing something on the job, or want to make sure that work-related coverage is not available to you before you strike a deal with the adjuster over your car accident. One of the things that we're finding more and more the last few years is sometimes our clients are hit by people who are in their private vehicle, but they're actually driving for Uber or Lyft or Instacart or Shipt or some company like that either delivers people or goods. And sometimes the driver's personal coverage will accept responsibility and work to try to get the case resolved. But in situations where Uber or Lyft or some other company where the person's driving on behalf of that company, that bigger company also has special insurance, liability insurance set aside to handle cases or to defend cases or to pay on cases where people are driving for Uber, Lyft, or Shipt or something like that. So you just want to ask that question, just make sure that the person was not on the job or working as an independent contractor for one of these driving services that have become really popular these days. One of the other questions that you might want to ask the adjuster before resolving a personal injury case is, was there any umbrella coverage that might be applicable to this accident? So many people, particularly people who have high net worth, people who have a lot to protect, will carry car insurance, basic car insurance, but over the top of that, they'll also carry what's called umbrella coverage. And umbrella coverage is like a general liability umbrella that sits over their car insurance or homeowner's insurance and will defend them and pay out on claims if they're found to be at fault for an accident. So sometimes adjusters don't really readily disclose this. If you ask them particularly, they will tell you, but it's not something that they will volunteer a lot of the time. So it'll always serve you well just to ask the question, what's the worst thing that can happen? They can say, no, there's no umbrella. Then if you find out later that there was and they lied about it, then that's a whole nother issue, and maybe we'll do a separate video on that. But normally if you ask them, they will tell you, but they won't always volunteer it. So that's another important question to ask, is about umbrella coverage. And then the last thing that you want to do before you agree to settle a car accident or personal injury claim, particularly car accident claim, is determine whether you have uninsured motorists or whether uninsured motorist coverage might apply to you. In Florida, people can carry an optional coverage called uninsured motorist coverage that you can add on top of, or that will pay in addition to liability insurance if a person doesn't have much. And many people have it, don't know about it, or they're entitled to it because of the car that they're riding in or a familiar relationship, but they don't realize that they're entitled to it. So doing a little bit of investigation about that also can pay off. Over the last 27 years doing this, one of the things that our firm is particularly good at, I think, is finding insurance coverage where other people haven't started to look or haven't thought to look. And that involves asking the right questions and doing some digging and And many times we're able to find coverage where nobody thought it existed, and it's really, really helped our clients over the years. So if you have any questions about settling a personal injury case and not asking the questions about additional insurance or what to ask, please call us. We'd love to answer questions. All you have to do is call us at 407-254-4901. You can text us at 407-644-4444. You can even email me directly to my inbox at kmc@cullen-hemphill.com. If you like this information and you want to look for other content like this, we have hundreds of videos on our YouTube page and on our website. And if you want to receive additional notifications of additional videos like this one with this kind of useful information in it, then please hit the red subscribe button below.